Okay, today we're playing a game on Numbani. This game took place during placement, so the SR is probably all over the place, and we will be playing some Lucio, some Mercy, and some Zenyatta. Don't get excited, though. It's old Mercy, it's not new Mercy. Don't worry, I have a new Mercy game in 2 days? 2 or 3 days. So it's coming, but for now, do not be excited. So our current team composition is Reinhardt, Orisa, Soldier 76, Bastion, Mercy, and Lucio. So, you know, we have a Bastion, whatever. We're kind of upset about that one. And we hope that they don't pick Pharah, or Roadhog, or Anna, or quite a few heroes, actually. We just hope they don't pick them, because we have a Bastion. If they do have them, hopefully they're just bad and kill themselves on the Bastion, which is always the great equalizer, that the enemy team can be worse than your team. This is slightly too loud. Okay, so they're all coming up the gate at us right now. Do not... Good job, mate. Just, like, completely mute the volume immediately after fucking with that. Don't run, like, right up into these people, because running up to boop them doesn't do anything in this situation, and there's a high likelihood you just get killed for doing that. Also, don't really need to use Amp It Up right now, because even though Reinhardt's hurt, he's purple, so we can't actually do anything about that one, so we didn't need to use Amp It Up there either, really. So half the team went the other way, as we've learned, or rather, well, Winston just jumped right through. This is okay to do if you know your team is actually gonna come with you to try and dive this Mercy, but, you can't rely on that, and, like, I know roughly what SR you're in. You can't do that. If the Mercy's standing right next to a Winston, that's really scary, unless you're playing someone like Reaper. You can't just go up and try to kill the Mercy unless you know they're gonna come with you to help you, because otherwise the Winston's probably just gonna kill you. So, Winston did just fuck off and leave Mercy behind, so that's cool. It's not exactly the best coordinated attack I've ever seen in my life, but as you can see, this video is 25 minutes long, so this game obviously goes more than the first point. It's only been a minute, but, you know, they're probably not in super high spirits after that one. So we can just be in Speed Aura right now. Speed Aura is your default aura. We don't want to be healing aura unless we have to, frankly. Alright, here. Who are we healing right now? We're full HP, and we're going off flanking right now, so there's no need to be in the healing aura. We're trying to get in here and, like, get out. We're not healing anybody. If you're not healing anybody, that's the same as having your aura turned off completely. So if you're not healing someone, you just want to be in the speed aura. So, you know, we went up there, we booped Reinhardt, he was probably pretty upset about that. We booped someone looked like off the edge, but then they unfortunately did not actually go off the edge, so that was very upsetting. Again, we're not actually healing anybody during this entire period of time, so we can just be in the speed aura. Speed aura, default aura, you need a reason to change to the healing aura, not vice versa. Not healing anybody. Now we're in the speed aura again, which is where we want to be as Lucio. The goal is to be as fast as possible. So, we overstay our welcome on this one. We can see the Mei sneaking up on somebody, so we don't want him to die. Probably wouldn't die because he's standing right next to the edge and he can jump off, but fair enough, we're going to come up to interrupt the Mei. Fair enough, just boop the Mei and then run off. Unless you're a god, you're not gonna kill Mei. So if you want to come up and boop the guy to make sure she doesn't kill whoever she's trying to freeze, that's fine. But then you gotta, like, get out. Because Mei's gonna kill you as Lucio, unless you are an absolute god. Then you might kill her. But, in all likelihood, not an actual god. So, it's okay, they're winning the fight anyway. Soldier just killed their entire team with Tac Visor. Here's Anna. Anna's dead now. Mercy's res 3 of them, because this is the old Mercy. The part where we're playing Mercy is going to be real short, by the way. Because, when you don't have to talk about the ultimate, suddenly old Mercy gets real fast to talk about. So, we've got Sound Barrier. We should just probably, like, use Sound Barrier sooner than that, because this fight, we haven't lost this fight yet, but it's not going well. And if we use it sooner, maybe Soldier's alive, because by the time, like, it's already not going well, but we might still win. By the time we use it, Soldier is also dead, so by this point, there's basically no one left on our team except us, two healers, and Bastion. So, you know, you could argue you shouldn't ult at all at that point because the fight looks like it might be lost, but I think it was close enough where you could justify it early on. We hold it for too long. Either use it faster or just don't use it at all in that situation. So we lose this checkpoint. Which I did foreshadow earlier by saying we lose this checkpoint. We're trying, but, you know, they're up there without any healers right now, so it's not terribly likely to go in their favor. Not impossible, but I would say the odds were stacked against them. So now they're all dead, and they've chosen to die at the worst possible time, of course, because we're on the street phase on Numbani. So now they have to spend 12 days getting back to the front line. Didn't need to amp up the healing aura right there, because, yeah, we're getting shot at by Farah, but the Farah wasn't actually looking like she was going to kill anybody. And we could have just amped up the speed boost to get away if we were really scared about it. The speed boost is often better than the healing aura. So this is a scary maneuver as well, because Junkrat is fine with you being completely, like, right up in his face, because his explosions don't do any damage to him. And also we, like, run right through his corpse right there, and there's a Reinhardt here that we didn't notice as well, even though we did, like, swoop past him. It was very brief, but we did see him. No, we didn't. I lied to you. We didn't see him. Okay, I thought we did see him, but we don't see him. We don't want to go up in Junkrat's face, because we don't gain anything from being in Junkrat's face, but Junkrat, suddenly it gets a lot easier to hit somebody with a grenade when they're right in front of you. Don't amp up the speed boost out of the gate like that, because if you get back to the front line, like, if you get, like, we'd like to have the amp it up immediately to try and heal the Mercy instead. It comes off cooldown, like, as we're getting here, but, like, you don't want to be caught in a situation where you need amp it up, and you've used it to get back to the fight. It only gets you back to the fight, like, a second faster. It's not really worth the trade-off for the 12-second cooldown, because 12 seconds is a really fucking long time, and if it turns out you need it in that period of time, you'll feel real silly about getting there a second faster to not be able to do anything once you arrive. So, we're now at the third checkpoint on Numbani, which is honestly usually where the game is decided anyway, so this is not really the end of the world. We're up here, fighting everyone. Alright, fair enough, we're playing Lucio. You go up there and you can fight people, that's fine. Switch the aura back and forth a little bit, sure. You know, we're playing Lucio, we're in here, we're fighting people, aura's touching people. As long as you use amp it up when it's off cooldown, you know, that's basically that's what you do when you're team fighting as Lucio, basically. We got a Roadhog whole hogging the sky, trying to kill a Farah. We don't want to be in Mei's face, because that's just making it easier for Mei. As soon as you see Mei, you turn around and leave. If you're gonna boop the Mei and then run, fair enough, but... so she tried to use her ultimate, but didn't actually throw it, which is unfortunate, because if she threw it right there, it would have been wasted. So, it's unfortunate that she didn't actually get to finish her throwing out the robot, because then she'd have no ultimate. Now she actually has it for the next team fight. We have sound barrier, which is cool, but is not going to save people from the blizzard. This guy, he's killed himself. Don't do this. Just because he's killing himself doesn't mean you have to try and save him. Because now, oh look, we died because we tried to save that dude. If he's going to kill himself, that's his business. You can't do anything about that. You're playing a support. You don't have to. You should not. You should not try to save somebody who is killing themselves, because what usually happens is just you also die, and your life is worth more than his anyway. So we break it down. We're frozen. We got blown up as we were coming in as well. The team fight's already not going particularly well. What can you do? All we could have done is, well, not died earlier, because then we would never have been in that position to begin with, hopefully. So we don't even get back in time to touch it. So it's unfortunate that Mei had her ultimate, right? It would have been a lot easier if Mei didn't have her ultimate, you know. It would have also been a lot easier if Roadhog and us didn't get picked off right before the fight started, mind you, but that also happened. So, we play Mercy for this round. And we aren't going to talk about Mercy's ultimate at all, because why would we? It's completely different now. And we're just going to instead take this time to bemoan the fact that this is old Mercy, and also to bemoan the fact that new Mercy is basically a mandatory pick. Because turns out, when you can just completely undo all picks that the enemy team gets, and your ultimate lasts 20 fucking seconds, turns out you're really fucking strong. Who would have guessed, right? So everyone's low HP right now, but fortunately, we're still winning the fight. So it all kind of works out in the end. Everyone was really low HP, but everyone just happened to kill all of the people that they were fighting. So, great. Everyone had like 1 HP at what, like collectively at one point we probably had like 7 hit points between all 6 of us. But we just barely got away with it because none of them were able to like melee someone to kill them. Incredible. See, the enemy team can always be worse. So we've got our ultimate, that's cool. It doesn't take us too terribly long to get to the end of this track. You look at like a 25-minute replay and you're like, oh god, this game must have taken forever. Not really, because when you account for all the time spent between rounds, it's actually not that long. So we're staying real far back. We're playing Mercy, that's cool, that's what you do. You don't want to die. Even now, you still don't want to die because dying is still bad. But now it's not, well, I mean, it's still pretty bad if you die, but it's not the actual end of the world if you die now because, This is obviously bad because we have died and we have our ultimate. We're playing Old Mercy. We don't want to die while we have our ultimate, but that doesn't matter anymore. So we've put ourselves, don't keep going this way, basically. And part of this is probably trying to get to the people to res them or heal them, but you're not allowed to go this way because there's a Reinhardt at the other end of the bus. And he sees you and he's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna kill you. Because you're Mercy and you're all over here by yourself. And don't go near big scary men as Mercy, because little Swedish girl cannot fight big German man in power armor, believe it or not. Fight's a little bit skewed in his favor, unless you have your ultimate as new Mercy, in which case you just float around him and just throw pebbles at his head until he eventually dies, and there's nothing he can do about it. But there's not much anyone can do if new Mercy's ulting, because basically it's 20 seconds of Mercy doesn't die. I expect in the near future for, so we're gonna hide now because we have our ultimate, by the way, as you do when you're playing Old Mercy. And they win the fight anyway, so it doesn't matter. I suspect in the near future, first off, Mercy's gonna get nerfed. I suspect what's gonna happen is that her ultimate is going to, her passive will work as normal while she's in her ult, so she'll be significantly easier to kill. Because at present, she's fucking hard to kill. Like, unless you got a Widowmaker or a really good McCree, she does not die. So now we're gonna hide again, because May's just used her ultimate. And we res people here, I think. Genji shouldn't be doing this. Like, he's trying to fight like Dragon Blade 2v6. Resed him on the frame, he died. So we're not really talking about this very in-depth because, well, Mercy's kind of a completely different hero now. So, basically all we stop to talk about is like, don't like walk right next to enemy Reinhardt because it gets you killed, basically. Mercy's completely different now, so. And for the most part, like, we're staying really far back, so, like, we're all the way back over here right now. Enemy team can't really see us for a fair bit of the game, which is the ideal situation, even these days. Pharah pops out behind us and kills us. We don't need to be looking at the person that we're healing, so we can just be looking around for that kind of thing. Because by the time she's there, it's already too late, you've died. So the only logical thing to say is, well, take it a step back further, and how could we have not been in that situation to begin with? And the only thing to say is, well, look around more so she doesn't sneak up on you, basically. I realize also that, like, a very hectic team fight was happening at the time, where a lot of people were low HP. But awareness is still very important. Mercy's got the most freedom to look around at people, look around and see what's happening. Even in these days, because the core mechanic of put your beam on somebody hasn't changed. We can still look around really freely. So, there goes Genji. Genji's going in 1v6. Didn't work. We're gonna hide now, because we've got our ultimate. Oh, look, 3 people. Oh, you know, feels bad. Slide away from it suddenly turns into a 2. It's alright, that doesn't happen anymore. Now we just res everybody throughout the fight, because we res, we ult, then we res again, and then we res 2 more people over the duration of our fucking forever ultimate. I love New Mercy, by the way. It might sound like I'm salty. I'm not salty, I love New Mercy. I love playing her, at least. But, it's not really very healthy for the game, I don't think, because she is basically a must-pick hero right now. I know why we go for this health kit, because we're low HP, and there was a Reinhardt behind us. There's a Pharah right there. We know Pharah's right there, we don't know where Reinhardt is, so that's real scary, because she could just shoot you in the face, and you'd die. As scary as it is, like, going backwards is the better option, because we know Pharah is there, and Pharah can kill you. You know, fortunately, she decided to use her concussive blast instead of actually just shooting us, so we, like, didn't actually get hit. So, she probably thought we were somebody else and just did it on reflex, but, you know, we don't wanna, you know, don't go into a Pharah. Don't go into a Reinhardt. So now we're playing Zenyatta, so we'll start talking about the actual video game again now. Cause Zenyatta, still the same hero right now. He has not undergone any changes. So, there's more, we can actually talk about it without being like, yeah, you know, our ultimate's completely different. So that, which completely affects how we play the hero, because we don't spend the whole time hiding like a bitch. Now we get out there and we actually like, we don't get out there and fight, but we get out there and, you know, participate in the fight, you know. We don't just, oh fuck, fight's happening, hide around the corner. So we're sitting over on the better balcony to stand on as Zenyatta, because it's really hard to get over here. So we get to just sit over here putting balls on people. Starting to walk into people a little bit here, because we see Pharah and we start moving towards her. Don't do that. Real scary. And, like, we're also standing in a more exposed area, because we're standing out in the big open area. It's better to stand over here, because you can use the pillar as cover. Pharah's coming right at us right now, and, like, by the time you're in this position, you're already fucked. There's nothing, by the time she's there, it's all over. We do know she's there, of course, because we've already seen her, so we know she's gonna probably still keep coming. So we should be focusing more over in that area, because, yeah, like, there's a fight happening on the opposing balcony, but as long as we've got a Harmony Orb on somebody over there, we're taking part in that fight. We have to make sure the Pharah doesn't then just come around the corner and kill us. So we change to Lucio now. Still, don't use Amp It Up to speed out of the spawn, because if it turns out you need to use it, you're gonna be pretty upset about that. Like, what if you get here, and there's like 5 people at 1 HP, right? And you suddenly can't amp it up your healing aura? It doesn't feel good. So, we have ended up on the opposite side of the arena to our entire team, which is not good, because we want to be healing them, but we kind of get pushed over this way. Unfortunately, we then end up just using Amp It Up on nobody but ourselves. We've gotten back over here now, but by this point, it's already kind of over. Realistically, there's not much you do to change this fight, because by the time we even get here as Lucio, it's already kind of too late. So the only way we have an impact on the way this fight went is maybe if we just didn't die as Zenyatta. Because if you're in a position where you're like, well, there's nothing we could have done here, you just go a step back further, like, oh, well, what could we have done? We could have just not died as Zenyatta, and maybe everything would have gone differently. Of course, we don't know, because that happened in a parallel universe. So we get to fight again, because this is Old Mercy, so she just rezzed, actually, this fight could have gone the same way, because she only rezzed 2 people, didn't she? And look at that. Turns out when you res some people on the team, the fight suddenly starts getting a lot easier. This could have actually still gone basically the same way, because she only res 2 people with her ultimate, and you can still do that, so. There is more risk attached to it now, of course, because Mercy is not invulnerable when she uses her res. However, her ultimate's fucking insane, so, you know. And the ability to just erase picks is very upsetting, honestly. Like, okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so I was gonna try not to, but I'm getting more upset the more I think about it. So, here's why New Mercy is really unhealthy for the game, right? Because suddenly, picking people off doesn't work anymore. And, you know, okay, fair enough, but why doesn't it work anymore? Because think about it, right? Picking somebody off before a fight starts is really hard. how often would you say that you get a free pick on somebody before a fight starts? Probably not very often. Of course, if you play like a healer or a tank regularly, you'll say, well, almost never. Because that's kind of how it goes. But even if you're a DPS, it's hard to get just like a free pick on someone, right? It's a high skill play to do that. And then suddenly, Mercy walks over, pushes E, and the person's alive again. You know, the high skill play is completely negated by pushing one button on your keyboard. And usually at very little risk, because, it tends to be how, like, a pick is before a fight starts. So, as long as the person that got picked wasn't just, like, badly out of position, there's no risk attached to the Mercy. Because the pick's right there, team's over there, our team's here, he died right there. Oh, look, he's alive now. So, you know, it makes it makes snipers bad because, well, unless you're a fucking god, but if you're just okay, it makes snipers terrible because suddenly, well, Widow picks somebody off and he's alive again. And, never mind. Okay, cool. Gotta pick somebody off again real quickly before she can just do that again. Hopefully your team didn't also initiate thinking it was a 5v6 and then suddenly it turned out to just be regular. You know, that can be very upsetting. But it makes snipers worse because suddenly picking people off becomes even harder. And it makes flankers worse because flankers still have the same risk attached to them, but they have a much lower potential for reward because if you don't pick off the Mercy, she completely removes whatever pick you did make. And, you know, there was the possibility of that before, but Mercy had to use her ultimate to do that. Now Mercy just pushes E and they're alive again. And if she's got her ultimate, oh fuck, she just reses everybody again anyway. So, it's not, you know, it's great to play Mercy. Feels great. Also, feels great when your Mercy is better than their Mercy. But, probably not very healthy overall. Cause right now, the way I see it, if your team doesn't have a Mercy, you just have a worse chance of winning. Because especially if their team has a Mercy, it's one of those positions where like, the only thing that really counters it is itself. Because if they have a Mercy and you don't, fight starts, somebody's dead, theirs is alive. Fight starts, somebody dies on both sides, theirs is alive, yours is still fucking dead, bitch. Well, we thought it was an even fight because we went in 5v5, now it's 6v5. Oh, fuck. And then that's discounting her ultimate as well, which is just, 20 seconds is too long, also. Like, 20 seconds is fucking insane. Like, if you have a Mercy, if you don't have a Mercy and they have a Mercy, your chances of winning are lower than their team. Like, Mercy's pretty mandatory right now as far as I see it, cause she's fucking insane. It sort of sheds light on it. Turns out tempo resing people, we should have probably been doing it a lot fucking more, cause it turns out it's really terrible. If you're on the other side of it, of course. Of course now, like, you know, there was like a trade-off attached to it before, but, yeah, it turns out when you can just res somebody whenever, it's fine, you know, pretty good. Feels good, and then you just ult and you res everybody again anyway. Oh fuck, fights suddenly take like 20 years to finish. Oh, I'm upset. Alright, so, let's just continue playing the game. There's not very much left of it, as you might have noticed, so, yeah, the moral of the story, I think the new Mercy is really unhealthy for the game, but she's also fucking awesome to play. Abuse it before she gets nerfed. Cause she's gonna get nerfed. Oh, look, see this Genji? You see this Genji? He could just be alive right now. We could just walk in here 6v5 again, couldn't we? Oh, and then it would be even more one-sided than it already is. So Mei's right on top of us right now. And fortunately, we get away with it. By the time we see Mei, it should already be too late. Cause, like, we're walking into the person that we're shooting at again, by the way, which is not good. But, like, we should look down here, see Mei coming, and then just start backing up immediately, because you don't want to be in Mei's face. We walk into the Mei. Don't walk into people you're shooting at. Zenyatta, no fall off on your weapon. You want to be as far away as possible. As long as you're in range to put orbs on people, you're in your effective range. Don't walk into people that you're shooting at. So we've won the game. You might have noticed. Should have probably just let this round play before I started going off on my tangent rant of about Mercy. But you know, I'm an upset, salty person. Sometimes it can't be stopped. All right, so I just want to complain about things because it's how I am. So Sol just put his aimbot on and he got play of the game. How exciting, right? I know. It's like, you know, he killed like 5 people, so yeah, it is the play of the game, but then like at the same time you look at it and you're like, you know, he pushed Q. But then that's kind of this game, you know, you push Q, and then you float around in the sky for 20 seconds, invulnerable, rezzing your whole team, and you win the game. Who'd have guessed, right? That's the thing to me, right? Like, okay, 20 seconds is fucking long. Like, either reduce its duration, or make it so that Mercy's passive isn't active the entire time, because it makes it so difficult to kill her. Not to mention also that like the exact shape of her hitbox gets really weird looking when you see her in Valkyrie, cause suddenly her wings are very fucking loud, right? And it makes, cause the wings don't count on her hitbox either, so it's just a lot of visual noise around the thing that you're trying to shoot. And she's already hard to shoot cause she's small in the sky, but then there's all this noise around it, making it even harder to like focus on it, right? And then her passive is active the whole time, so like some heroes just can't kill her, right? Like unless Soldier is a fucking god or has his ult, he's not gonna kill her. It's just not feasible. She's regenning too much. Winston can't kill her. Diva can't kill her. Can't be done. Just can't be done. She's regenning too fast. Either make it a lower duration, because 20 seconds is fucking insane, or make it so that it is actually possible to kill her during the span of time. Because it's basically just 20 seconds of Mercy can't die. Cause she's floating like 1,000 feet in the air. She's really small. Just like hitbox wise. Her passive is going constantly, and she's fucking high because the beam tether becomes insanely long. Like she basically can't die for 20 seconds. It's insane. So that's why, you know, that's why Mercy is a terrible hero that is also fucking sweet to play, and you should definitely abuse how strong she is while you can. This is really funny to me, because when Ana was the strongest support in the game, people were really upset about it, and they wanted she should do less damage, her ult should get nerfed, her grenade should get nerfed, all of these things got nerfed, and now, you know what I've seen? People are like, give her speed boost back, put her damage back up, but buff the grenade. What do you want? What do you want, people? Like 3 months ago, you were like, nerf Ana, she's too strong. Put all the things you took away from her back on. Like, fucking Overwatch community. I'm upset. So anyway, this game though, when you're playing Lucio, try to just be in the speed aura more often, because that's the thing that's strong about Lucio is the speed aura, not his healing aura. His healing aura is only really good when it's amped up, so we try to be in the speed aura as much as possible. Be careful who you pick your fights with, because picking a fight with a Mei as Lucio is going to get you killed, basically, like 9 times out of 10, unless you're a god or the Mei is terrible. For Zenyatta, try not to walk into people that you're shooting at, because that's a bad habit just in general. But with Zenyatta, you want to be as far away as possible. We're putting ourselves closer to the fight, which we don't want to do, because being close to the fight is closer to the danger, and when we're playing supports, we're trying to avoid that. This is something that happened the one time, but like, don't try and save somebody who's killing themselves, basically. Like, if Roadhog decides that he wants to die and throws himself into the enemy team, whatever, let him do that. You can't save him. All that's gonna happen is you'll die trying to save him, and then you'll just both be dead. So, you know, anyway, so, those big things. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful. Or at least entertaining, or, you know, something.